shoot for like between 9:15, 9:30.
Yeah. So we got Don
Okay.
Zollo back, second appearance. So Don, you
appearances.
what's that?
I said I'm leading the league in appearances in Ed Bratz.
Yeah, exactly. So what is your take on all the protesting going on in Boston right now or around the world?
I hate it. Like, I think it's awful. Awful what happened to that guy. I'm disgusted by it. I also don't think burning down a city is the solution. I also don't think stealing is the solution. And I hear a lot of people justifying it, and it just brings out the, like, I look at it and it makes me sick. And people go, oh yeah, but the guy was murdered. He was murdered. It was awful. It was terrible. And I like, there's nothing good about that happening. But I look at the response that everybody gave, and it's like the first thing the United States has been unanimous on,
right?
And I don't know how long. Like, everybody was against that, and I don't know what more you can do. Like, I thought that the country should have united under that, and people will think I'm an asshole for saying that, but I'm like, it was one thing that everybody was on the same side on, and yet there's still, what's going on now, and it just makes me sick to watch. And the other thing is, I think a lot of those people, I'll put it this way: if I was like a 21-year-old kid and I went out and started looting, with that mob mentality, I don't know, maybe that's something I would do when I'm 21, but I'd be embarrassed as fuck to have my face shown 4 or 5 years later or next month if they, put this on the news and like, oh, these 4 people were arrested. Like, that's something to be embarrassed about. And there's a lot of people that are supporting it. And it's just, I don't like it.
Yeah, no, I don't. I mean, obviously, everyone has, they should be upset. I was upset watching the video. I think protesting is totally fine. I'd even go as far as saying, you know what, if you want to like go to the police station or like and you want to tear down a Target, whatever. But do you have to hit the mom and pop shops? I mean, these people, they're not getting those shops. They're not getting those shops back. Insurance companies,
which I think is bad too. I don't like to deal in the broad generalizations. Like,
yeah,
dude, anytime you start just generalizing gigantic groups of people, there's going to be problems. And let me tell you, what those cops did was fucking disgusting. Okay, but I also know lots of good cops, and when you burn down a police station, you're also insulting the good cops. And it's like, I understand that you want to out, but I'm not on board with it. I'm just not. And it's like, 2 wrongs don't make a right, and it's just, I don't know. It's not a happy situation. It hurts my feelings. Like, I hate saying that. It makes me sound like a pussy, but I'm just like, I look at the murder, I get sad, and it's fucking awful. And then I look at the response, and it's sad, and it's awful, and I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'll tell you what. Here in Massachusetts, I'm blaming Marty Walsh and Governor Baker for they basically invited people to riot. Is what they did. I can't go to the driving range because of the coronavirus, but you can go out and I guess tear down, build it. Break in the jewelry stores.
I hate to bring life down to a meme because I realize how stupid that can sound, but there is a point of truth in it where it's like, oh, so you get arrested and open up a business, but not if you start stealing from one. And I'm like, oh, it's kind of true.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, Marty, like, I feel like Marty Walsh has to suffer some type of ramifications. I mean, he can't be the next. He has to be voted out for what he just let happen.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that, and but I don't think it will happen. And sadly, I think that a lot of like letting it go is politically inspired. Like, this is what we're going to allow to happen on purpose. And it's just like, it sends a terrible message that you would let that happen.
I know. I don't understand it. And I think people should be upset. I think years and years of, cops getting away with stuff. And I guess there's some, immunity law that I guess that they have. But I watched one from
It's very hard
Arizona, right?
to prosecute a police officer, from what I understand, and I'm not
Right.
super educated on that, but because of the union protections, it's not like, oh, we're just filing charges and it's done instantly. Like it's something that there's an extended process.
I watched the video from Arizona. I don't know if you ever saw this one from 2017, where the cop literally executes a white guy in a hotel hallway. The guy's got no shirt on. He's drunk, and the cop's telling him to, put your arms up, put him out, crawl. He's like yelling at him, crawl, neck, crawl to me. And the guy reaches to pull his pants up, and he just unloads, with like an M16 or whatever. The cop got fired, was acquitted, and then got rehired so he can collect his pension. It just makes me, some of the things are baffling, but it does make me wonder what's going to happen when this cop gets acquitted.
I don't think this cop's going to get acquitted. I think that he might not get a murder charge, and my rationale behind not getting a murder charge is I think murder has to be premeditated, and I don't think this was premeditated. And you could say that there was, excuse me, not premeditated, intended. I don't think he intended to kill him. I could be wrong, but I don't think that they'll be able to say he intended to kill him. But I mean, it's manslaughter, and the guy should go away. There's no manslaughter to me is the baseline that he could possibly get away with. That's the best case he's going to do, I think. But
so bringing it back to what's happening in Boston, I guess they're having another protest tonight, right? In West, I think it's
I just got a message from somebody that lives downtown, and she's like, "I'm fucking scared. I'm really scared." And I'm like, "Yeah, I get it."
Yeah, I don't understand. And the cops are told to stand down, right? They're told not to intervene. And then I read that I think it was either the mayor's office or Marty Walsh himself sent a memo telling the cops not to wear the helmets because they looked intimidating. Like, what, are you crazy?
That's crazy. If that's the case, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah,
like you're gonna.
I'm sure you were watching it. I'm sure you were watching it last night when people were. I saw a car run over like 7 people, and then I watched people jump through the window of a jewelry store.
I saw the jewelry store thing. I didn't watch all that much of it. It was making me sick to watch. I just was like, I don't want to watch it. And I wasn't cool with it when it was going on in Minneapolis, but like when it happens in your town, it's like even worse,
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the worst things is that I'd like to believe that 95% of the people that are really hurt by this and want a peaceful march and they really want change. I think the majority of those people don't want the violence.
I don't know. I got to be honest. I have no idea how many people are participating in this. I don't know if it's 20%. I don't know if it's 25%. I don't know if it's 1%. I really don't. I will say this: there's probably more people that protested without stealing stuff than actually stole stuff, if that makes any sense. But it's a terrible look.
Now, are you really against it if you don't go on Facebook and tell everyone how you can never know how someone else feels? Like,
am I really?
Does everybody have to go on there and virtue signal about how it was wrong? Yes, I get it. Everyone agrees.
About the guy getting killed, because you might as well be putting up a sign that says, I think it's wrong to punch puppies while they sleep. Yeah, it was clear it was wrong. There's no gray area. Like, it's fucking wrong. And it's sad because I think that there's a lot of people that are legitimately hurt by this, but I think there's a lot of people that it falls into the Anthony Jeselnik. It falls into the Anthony Jeselnik joke of, most people go to Facebook to post about a tragedy to say, hey, look at me. And I feel like there's a lot of virtue signaling, like, oh, thoughts and prayers to so-and-so. And I feel like sometimes that's sincere, and sometimes it's like, hey, I just want you to know I'm still alive, I'm still here. And it's like, it makes the tragedy about that person. And there are people that are legit, and I get that. But there's some posts that I see and I'm like, that's about you. That's not about the tragedy.
Yeah, I've read some posts over the last 2 days that I'm like, whoa, that's like a book. People are writing like novels on their on their pages about how things should change, and and they've grown up. They don't know what it's like because they've grown up as a white person. It's like, yeah, everyone knows that you're white. You don't have to let us
All
know.
right. So I have a very different take on this, and I'll say it here because it's like you're not going to cut me off from talking. But I am not shitting on the police in this, but or maybe I am on a small level, but I understand that you can't make the generalization across the board that all cops are like this, and I fully understand that. But I've been roughed up by the police three times in my life to varying extents, and it's been unprovoked. It's not like I'm taunting the cops. They just, from ranging from being tackled to being pushed around and having them get in my face, and I'm just like, please, I don't want any trouble. And they're like, listen, fucking here, and they're like grabbing
Right.
me. And I can remember once I was just yanked out of a car unannounced on the highway, and this cop's just shaking the shit out of me, and it scared the fuck out of me. And then I can remember another time I watched one of my friends get arrested unprovoked, nothing that he broke the law in. And I watched one of my friends question the cop, and he goes, excuse me, what did he do wrong? And as he's asking, well, what did he do wrong? The cop starts getting in his face, and he's walking in his face, and he's walking in his face. And I'm watching this entire thing live as it happens. My buddy just keeps backpedaling with his hands up going, I don't want any trouble. What did he do wrong? And as he's backpedaling, I'll never forget this. He backpedaled into three cops, and these three cops were sitting there with crossed arms, just like this, just staring at my friend backpedaling 1 mile per hour towards them. And the second that he's walking with his back to them, like this, that as soon as they made contact, all three of them, boom, threw him right onto the ground, just got on top of him, left, right, left, right, left, right. And I watched three cops beat my friend fucking senseless to the point that he needed plastic surgery. Okay.
Oh,
he got to get plastic surgery because they fucked his face up so badly. And then they pressed charges on him for assaulting police officers, which is fucking insane. And I just remember being like, I can't believe what I just watched. And I was so fucked up by it. He's white also. My point is, there's a police brutality problem. There 100% is. And in my experience, it doesn't matter what fucking color you are. It just doesn't. That being said, I don't fucking bash on cops either. They have one of the toughest jobs in the entire world. And I'm like, without going into my sob story, I've gone through severe PTSD bullshit in my life. And let me tell you, it shortens your fuse. It absolutely does. So now you put these guys that have one of the most challenging jobs in the entire world into an environment in which they get just overwhelmed with all these PTSD type events day in and day out. And that makes you a little bit short fused and sometimes fucks up your judgment. So I don't bash on cops. I don't. They have an incredibly hard job to do. I'm like, but I also realize I've been roughed up unprovoked 3 different occasions. I watched them beat my friend. I don't know how close he was to dying, but I'll tell you this much. He wasn't as pretty as he was when he got out of there. And it was like, I don't know. And it doesn't make doing it to a black person right on any level, but I'm just saying I've watched it happen. And I'm like, it's a police brutality issue. And I don't shit on the cops because I realize how difficult it is to do what they do.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with that. I've had incidents where I do think there's probably some level of expectation where if you're in a situation where you get roughed up and you're a white guy, if you're a black guy, maybe that goes a little worse for you, right? But here's the thing, I blame the media, and I'll tell you why. Because the media loves to show cops hurting black people and black people shooting cops, right? So now when they meet, they're already tensed up at a situation that may have not been tense before.
I think that's pretty accurate, actually. And the media loves doing that. It's like, how do I even say it? Like, when Trump goes after the media, I'm like, I get it if you have a problem with him. I honestly do. Like, I can understand why you have a problem with him, but don't sit there and say it like the media doesn't have an agenda. They have
Right.
an agenda, and the agenda is fair, and it's to sell advertising. And if it leads, it bleeds is the big story, the big slogan for strategy for organizing newscasts, and they sell fear, and it's like it's sickening. And I mean, I don't like it, and it's like it's even more bothersome now with all the bullshit that's going on in the world prior to this. I just feel like everybody's so short fused, and it's like I just can't take it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, this was definitely a bad mixture of people being locked in their house for months, people losing their jobs, people not having
Yeah.
any money, and now you let them out for all you had to do was give them a reason, right? Just give them a
Yeah.
reason to be upset, and now you basically come out and tell them that it's okay to to do what they're doing. I don't even know how you stop it. I mean, if everyone, I mean, if everyone in the
I
city
honestly
wants
think
to riot, how do you stop it?
I think it'll just weaken on its own. I don't think this is going to last past this week, but it's like it's whatever. It's enough. Like I mean, one night of it's enough. But I think it'll weaken of its own accord.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to see anybody else get hurt. You know, it definitely loses the message that they're spreading, and I'm sure, like I said, I'm sure that there's people out there that have nefarious reasons for being out there. When I see, these, when I see John Jones ripping spray paint cans, out of the hands of like these like these little fat white kids. Did you see that video?
I saw the picture of it. I
Yeah.
got the gist that he jumped in. I didn't know what he did.
But it just, it just makes you think that there's probably, like you said, there's a lot of college kids or people that are home that are bored that literally don't care, may not even know the story, and they just want to go out there and just cause violence and be opportunistic.
I also think I was wondering about this, and I didn't watch all that much of the riots anywhere. I really didn't because it sickens me. I don't like watching it. Are there middle-aged rioters? Is that a thing? Are there people like in their 40s and 50s that riot, or is it just like 20-something-year-olds?
No, I think you got to be under 30.
Okay. I was thinking about that. I was like, are there middle-aged rioters? I don't fucking know, but I'm like, it's fucking. I'm not trying to like shit on young people, but it's like, dude, you're not even fucking fully developed until you're like 25. And even then, you probably need another 5 years of life experience more often than not. But it's like, I think about all the stupid stuff I did when I was younger. And I mean, I don't think I would ever participate in that. But who knows? If you're fucking 19 and you're stupid, maybe you do.
Yeah, I mean, your friends go, especially with social media. Now everyone knows what everybody else is doing. It's a big event, so it's easier to get people to go.
I think that oftentimes too, a lot of these people, and again, I would never say all of them, a lot of people are there to feel important. Like, I want
Mm,
you to know I was at the protest. And it's like, it's not so
right.
much about the actual protest as much as it is being seen at the protest and connecting with your friends that are at the protest.
Have you ever been involved in a protest?
No, not once. And I'm to
Really?
tell you the truth, I've evaluated that and I'm like, I really don't feel a need to be a part of a protest. Like not one fucking thing. I think that it's fair to vote with your feet or vote with your dollars. You don't like something, get up and leave. Okay. You don't like something, don't buy their product. I'm like that. I don't like. I don't know. I've thought about it, and I'm like I'm not a protester.
I was involved in a protest that actually worked when I want to say I was either eighth grade or freshman year of high school, but they banned hats in school. So everyone in my town in Connecticut, we all got up at the same time at like noon, and we all walked to City Hall. Every high school, the grammar schools, and the next week they let us wear hats again. But nobody got hurt. I mean,
Well, that's kind of fun. I can see why you'd want to do that.
we didn't destroy any property or anything.
You weren't going to go to jail.
Yeah, we just
Right.
So
Protest. I'm like, I don't think I don't know. Maybe my feelings will change in the future, but I'm like, I don't protest. At least not now.
yeah, I've been trying to get someone to come on who's an activist, because I would love to hear like what success looks like. Like what is the ultimate goal, as far as people, they say they want the system changing, but what does that look like?
But it's whenever you hear nobody has a plan, but they love fucking taking shots at everybody else. You know what I mean? Like I see so many people ripping apart at politicians' strategies for like, dealing with the coronavirus or something. Like, well, he's just mishandled it. It's fucking terrible. And like this governor should have done that. And it's like, okay, well, what they say he's doing it wrong. And it's like, okay, well, what should they do? What should they do? You tell me this plan. And it's the same thing with this. What does success look like? What does it look like? Like there's no finish line in sight. You know what I mean? It's like the war on drugs. It just goes. The war on terrorism. It just goes. Like there's no, we did it.
Yeah, I think that the police brutality thing is more of a symptom of economic inequality than that. I think it's a symptom of the problem, which
I agree with that.
It's another problem in itself. But
crime happens, yeah, and that's where most interactions are going to happen.
Right, and I don't know how you solve. I don't know how you solve that. I know that a lot of people have different ways. I think we'll see that problem be solved in the next 20 years. I think with the automation of technology.
I think the only thing that's going to solve it is you. Like you can't expect the government to come along and solve. Well, these people are making too much money, or there's too much inequality here. If you're relying on the government to come fix your problems, you're going to be waiting a long time, and people just don't want to hear that. And it's like, dude, I anything that I have in life owed directly to me, 100%. Like I don't any of my fuck ups, 100% my fault. And there's anytime that I've put myself in a shitty situation, Don Zollo's fault, 100%. And
the pandemic is kind of a big thing.
Yeah, but that's like, well, I'll say this. I shouldn't say fault. It's my responsibility. Let me rephrase that. All right, so this pandemic happened and unemployment's really high, and I don't know how my day job's going to be playing out, and comedy ain't fucking coming back anytime soon. Well, it might not be my fault for the pandemic, but it's my responsibility to handle it. It's just, that's all it boils down to, is it's my responsibility to react, how I'm going to react to it. And I don't think enough people take that strategy in their life. I should have worded that different. I don't like to use fault. It could be somebody's, somebody could have done something to you that set you back. It's your responsibility to get past it. That's all that boils down to.
True. And I'll tell you what, to go off topic here. The 75 hard that you introduced me to.
Oh yeah.
So I'm going to tell you, I'm on today's day 23. Right. I got
nice.
This will be a gallon when I finish this. I saw.
I'm in it now too. Did I tell you that?
No. Oh, you're back doing it?
So after you finish 75 hard, there's 3 sequel programs if you want to do them. I've already done one of them, and I'm on the second sequel program. It's 30 days, and I'm on day, I think, 17 maybe.
Okay. So I saw 199 on the scale on Sunday, which was pretty good.
That's a great number.
Unfortunately, the next day it was at like 201, but I know it fluctuates, but that's okay because I'm like, that's all right. It's in the area.
It's rushing down.
Right.
It's generally heading in the correct direction.
But I'm going to tell you that, for a long time, I had a lot of issues with anxiety and depression, which obviously most comedians, probably people that ever try becoming a comedian probably do. And so since I've been starting this, I don't know if I've ever been happier. Matter of fact, this morning, I got laid off from my job. Normally, I would have taken that like, oh man, like the world's ending. And today I was like, no big deal. I'm not gonna let it deter me from finishing the 75 hard program, and I'm gonna use the positive energy that I've gotten. And I'll tell you what, when you sent me that message saying it would mean a lot to me if to you if I finished it, dude, that really made me like think like, wow, there's like somebody else out there that cares about my success in doing this.
I do care about success in doing it, and selfishly, it also makes me feel good. I'm like, wow, if Ed fucking follows through on this thing because he saw me do it, that makes me feel good. And then I also care about you too. But I'm like, I'm not gonna lie to you. There's an element that's like, hey, that fucking makes Don Zollo feel good. But I'm like, I like that you follow through on it. I've had probably, I should really count the number. I'm gonna say between 20 and 25 people have emailed me saying, dude, I started 75 hard. And you're on day 23.
Yeah.
Okay, I'd say you're doing better than 80% of the people. I had a few people get into the 40s and 50s, and I got one dude who's still active right now, probably at about day 40. I think when you get to like if you're in it like 3 weeks, to me, this is how I felt. I felt like once I got to like about 3 weeks, I was like, I'm finishing this thing. And the rationale is instead of 75 days, now you're down to about 50 days. It's a shorter finish line. You've done it for 3 weeks. You've built the habits. You've also proved to yourself beyond just the habits. You've proved to yourself, oh, I can do this. So I think once you get to 3 weeks, it becomes significantly easier. But like I said, I've had a few people get into the 40s and 50s, and they've had a screw up, or whether it be by accident or a conscious decision. I had one person who was just bullshit at the world, and they were on day 40 something, and they just said fuck this, and they went out drinking. And I don't judge the person for that, but they were just in a really bad spot. And I said, hey, that's up to you. That's fine. You built a lot of habits, but you would have been more proud of yourself if you got through it. But that person got back on the horse and started it again. So I mean, I think that says a lot about that person.
Yeah, I mean, I think the hardest part for me is probably how many times I have to use the bathroom.
Yeah,
I'm drinking all the water, but that's about it. Everything else, like even for like the diet, I got to the point where I'm like, okay, my new cheat meal. If I want to have my own cheat meal, it'll be the size of my sweet potato that I have, depending on how hard I work out that day. If I have two
right.
workouts, I'm gonna have a full sweet potato. If I don't, then I have like half of one, or maybe I don't have one at all. But that's gotten to be like, because they're sweet. They taste good. I throw a little cinnamon on it. Cinnamon doesn't have any sugar in it, and it's totally fine.
Yeah, I've never done that. Oh, I like that.
Yeah, and I mean, let's see, what's today? Monday. Yeah, yesterday I played 18 holes of golf. Then I ran for 45 minutes, and then I came home and did these push-up pyramid set for 45 minutes. So I basically had 3 workouts.
That's a real lot.
But yeah, I'm excited, man.
I'm in a weird spot physically from the standpoint of I'm about as lean as I really want to be. I mean, don't get me wrong. Could I take 5 pounds off my body? I probably could. I mean, I'm not going to say it's impossible, but it's not like that drives me anymore. You know what I mean? So it is a little bit weird. Like I don't have that pushing me, but yeah, it's weird. This past week, I had a few fuck this type moments, and I mean, I still kept with the program, but I mean, it was the first time that I felt tempted, but not tempted to the point that I really considered quitting it. I was just like, I would really like to have drinks with my friends right now, and they were out having drinks, and it was like, I would like to do that too. But I was like, whatever, I'm sticking with this program. And this is the thing, when you start to rack up enough days, like you have 3 weeks now, a little over 3 weeks, it's like, well, yeah, that slice of pizza looks good, but you know how much you're gonna fucking feel like a piece of shit the next day if you have that slice of pizza. I almost feel like it's better to accidentally screw up than to consciously be like, I'm going to have a beer or whatever,
Now, did you go crazy? Like I've already planned out the day after I finish, like my whole day.
So here's the thing. No, my short answer is no, I didn't. And by the time I even got to 75 days, I was like, I felt pressure to finish it, but there was absolutely no part of me that was like, I'm going to cheat on this thing. And the habits were so ingrained that I was like, I don't even care. I just, it's not like, oh my God, the finish line is tomorrow and I'm going to have a slice of pizza. I knew that it was there for me to have. I just didn't care. Like, I think that the day after I finished, I purposely ate something that wasn't on the program just so I could say, the program is done. Like the
Didn't you have a
streak.
didn't you have like a cheeseburger or something?
I think that was like the next day. I posted it like 2 days after, but like the day that it ended, I don't know. I got a slice of pizza or something. But the cheeseburger picture, I know what you're talking about. That
Yeah.
was 2 days after I finished.
Okay.
But I got to tell you this: you start getting nervous when you're getting up to those high numbers because it's like, oh fuck, I got like 63 days built up. Like I don't want to screw this up. I mean, I was
Right.
like real Nazi about like, all right, you know, did I take my picture? Did I drink my water? Did I do this? And I just be on it so much so that when I finished, it wasn't even elation, it was relief. It was like, oh, I didn't fuck anything up during the stretch run. But you know,
yeah, I'm already in the habit. I'm already in the habit where I'm like, okay, this, like I try to get my water down a little earlier in the day, just so I don't have to do it at night. But I remember reading an interview with Vince McMahon where he says that he eats clean 29 days a month, and he's like on the 30th, on the last day of the month, he'll eat a gallon of ice cream, a carton of a whole thing of Oreos. The guy's 75 years old and ripped out of his mind. Granted,
he looks awesome.
He's taking stuff that you or I probably aren't taking, but
right.
But
I
that
don't
is
even judge.
right.
I'm like that's probably in the cards for me, 10, 15, 20 years down the road, whatever. I'm like, I remember listening to Joe Rogan talk with Nick DiPaolo, and Nick DiPaolo was mentioning, he goes, yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking about doing HGH. I don't know, and I'm on the fence. And Rogan was like, do it. Why wouldn't you? And he's like, you're the first person that's ever said that to me. Like, just do it. And he's like, why wouldn't you? You'd feel better. You just feel better. Right. And I thought about it. There's like one little piece of me that's like, oh, well, if I take HGH, that's like cheating. Cheating what? Feeling good? Like waking up not sore, like I'll put it this way. I'm not above taking that if my body starts to break down in the future.
Have you ever watched there's a good documentary on Netflix called Screwball?
No.
It's about the guy who was behind the Alex Rodriguez scandal for baseball. He was the guy that was supplying him with HGH. I can't remember his name. He was the doctor. But
yeah, that was the company. And okay.
Every client that he has a list of all his clients. It was like Mary J. Blige, A-Rod, J-Lo, like good-looking women in their 50s are taking HGH because
I didn't know J-Lo took it. If J-Lo's taking it, sign me up because she looks fantastic.
I know. That's what I mean. Like they say, it's literally the fountain of youth. The problem is it is very expensive. It's a couple like $5,000 a month. I mean, it's very expensive.
Oh, yeah, that is expensive. I thought you were going to be like, it's like $400 a month.
No, it is a lot of money, but everything that I've read about it, it seems that it's a good thing to do. I mean, you don't see baseball players dropping dead.
You really don't.
No. Yeah. They're all fine. The reason they don't want you to take it, I'm a big believer is that if you were healthy longer, well, there's an industry out there that might not make as much money.
Yeah, 100%.
So
I completely agree with that.
I think it's a miracle drug because don't you lose hormones? You lose that hormone as you get older. Especially male. So all you're doing is replacing it.
I have testosterone in the top 3%. Got that tested this year. I don't mean to throw that in your face, but whatever. I'm a 3%er, so fucking.
I can tell by the full head of hair.
Yeah. Not gonna lie to you, I'm pretty happy with that. Like that, how like you kind of hit that thing in life of you don't know what you have until it's gone. I'm not that way with my hair. I see a lot of my friends complain about being bald or, oh shit, I got to use the Rogaine or my hair's thinning. I'm like, not this motherfucker, I'm like, I'm appreciative before it's gone.
No, I got I've been thinking about getting the hair transplant thing, but I think I'll wait another 10 years if I have to do that. I got the little in the back. There's like one little spot where it's thinning.
Does it like go away? Like, because you said I'd wait 10 years. I mean, if it just stays, why not just do it now and just have it done?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like pain. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't seem like they like scalp you. I mean,
yeah,
it doesn't seem like it's a good thing. So what do you have going on? Yeah, you were doing a podcast. Were you doing a podcast for a while, or are you doing it?
I don't know what the fuck. I have like 5 episodes that I did on Zoom, and I don't know if what I fucked up, but I'm like, it doesn't appear that they're saved, and I'm like, I didn't delete them.
Oh, they're on
I'm
your
like,
computer. They're on your computer, saved in 3 different files, and you have to merge them. Just so you
okay,
know.
well, maybe you'll have to teach me how to do that because I got like 5 episodes, and I'm like,
Right.
shit, I don't know how to do this. I need like a tech person for my life. I need like a roommate that understands audio, video, how to promote stuff. I need
Dude,
like
I was
a
telling someone. I don't even know who I was telling. I had Trisha Ald on. And I was telling her that in order to be a successful comedian now, you have to be a nerd. You have to know
yeah,
how to do. You have to know how to do everything, or you have to know a nerd,
or you have to know a nerd.
right? I mean, you got to know how to do like the Instagram, the Twitter, where you have to do like 15 tweets a day at the exact time, all that stuff. Which I tweet at like
It's
1 in the morning sometimes, and people and I have friends who are like, "You shouldn't do that. You should do it at like 3 in the afternoon." I'm like, I'm not gonna remember to tweet at 3 in the afternoon. If it comes to my head, I just put it out there. I don't do. I'm not doing it to be scientific.
Um, I always think it's weird what catches on, what like you never know what post is gonna like really resonate with people. You know what I mean? I just think it's like sometimes I'm like, oh, this is gold, and I put it out there, and it's like 3 likes, and then you come up with some piece of shit line, and you throw it out there, and it's like 7,000 retweets. Like what the, like it's just weird to me.
Yeah. Are you on Twitter? Do you tweet a lot or not really?
I hardly ever use Twitter. Like it's so rare that I use it. It's ridiculous.
Are you on
I'm on
Instagram?
Facebook. What? Yeah, I'm on Instagram, which I like Instagram. I feel like Facebook is, I want to fight you. You're a piece of shit. You're like, I just said I like iced coffee. Yeah, well, you're causing problems to hot coffee. You fucking loser. And it's like, what? It's just a constant fight. But I'm like, Instagram is just look at my dog, check out my tits. And I'm like, that's a lot happier place. I'm like, I think I got to spend more time on Instagram.
Now I'm going to tell you this. So the book that I read, so I just finished it yesterday, was Dale Carnegie's book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Have you read that?
Read it for 75 hard earlier this year.
Oh, you did?
Yep.
Oh, okay. So then in the book he talks about how
Probably over my shoulder, to be honest with you.
people want to be desired, right? That's why sometimes they act like a really good person because they want you to like them that way, or they act like an asshole because they just want you to be interested in them. So
Yes.
I've been trying to think about that when I encounter somebody on Facebook or in my life who may say something that I don't agree with, and then I try to step back and think, I wonder why they said that. Did they say it because they really mean that, or were they trying to elicit a reaction because they just want people to pay attention to them?
Yeah. And also another piece of it too is connection. Like I think that the world is so starved for connection that a lot of times, even if you're fighting with somebody, at least you're connecting with them. You are connecting with them. It might not be the best or most empowering connection, beneficial for your life, but you are connecting with somebody. And if you're fucking alone, it's better to fight than to be alone all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. That's why my new thing that I don't like seeing on are the new if you think or if you are, then you are this. It's like, no, what is that? What is that? That's why literally anything that I put out there, like from now on, is going to be trying to get someone to laugh, or something where it's just something where people can think, oh, that was pretty cool. I'm not going to put anything negative out there ever again.
Um, I'm gonna split hairs with that because it's like, yeah, I mean, how do I say it? I don't want to say like I'm putting out something negative, but I thought about a post I put up the other. Actually, I think I put it up today.
You took it down,
Dudes,
right?
yeah, I took it down. It was just like I wrote, these riots and this looting is awful. This is not justice. This is stealing or something
Right.
like that. And I don't consider that to be negative, but I'm like, let me tell you, it started a shitstorm. And I was like, and some of it just got real mean and some of it got
Right.
personal and people were calling each other names. And I was just like, fuck it, I'm taking it down. It wasn't my point. I'm not doing it for you to fight. I'm just voicing my disapproval over what's going on.
Yeah. I was actually trying to think the perfect Facebook post is one where you only get likes and no one comments. That's to me, that's
The
the
fact-
perfect one where everyone just likes it and without comments, because then you don't have to respond.
I don't see how that could even happen.
Well, you could put like something dumb out there, like I usually do, or I put a picture. I have kids, so it's easy for me. Like if I'm ever like, you know what, I want like 40 likes today, I could just throw up a video of my kids, and that works every time, all the time.
Um, I think it's weird, like what people gravitate towards. I saw something on TV, and I want to make this clear. This was not my creation. I just saw something on television, and it showed this. It showed a news reporter talking to the camera, and he's calling out everybody in this state. I'll say it was Wisconsin. He's like, "Look at these people. They're just walking around without masks. They don't give a shit about anybody's safety. No masks. Look at this guy." And he points like this and the camera looks over at him and goes, and there's this guy wearing a Packers jersey with no mask on, and he goes, "Your camera guy doesn't have a mask, and neither does half your staff." And you just watch this reporter get called out on his bullshit, and he was so defeated. So I rewound it, and I videoed it, I put it up on Facebook, got over 100,000 views, and I was like, "Are you like?" I woke up the next morning and I was like, 650 shares. Like, are you fucking shitting me? Like this 20-second clip.
Hey, really?
And it like, I don't know, like 110,000 views or something like that.
That's awesome, dude.
I couldn't believe, off of a Facebook post. Not even like, I don't know, not like Twitter where the numbers rack up quicker.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
100,000 views just from that's amazing. That's amazing.
I loved watching this reporter. Just his body language was just priceless.
I saw that video, and I love that. I love that. I probably watched it on your page. Yeah, I love that. Then I started about
it. So what's great about this? I'm like, it's funny. It's short. It was 20 seconds.
Right.
All I put for like a title was something like, "This is fucking hilarious." And I'm like, okay, so I said, "This is hilarious." Then I also said, it shows you that the mainstream media has an agenda. So I thought about that. I was like, maybe I'm pulling in people that don't like the mainstream media. So maybe that's something you do. And I'm not saying you have to comment about the mainstream media, but you have to find a topic specific that is important to people. And then I also mentioned the guy's body language. I was like, oh, he just got fucking crushed. And I was like, okay, so that's 3 elements. So who knows? Now I got to fucking work that into the next post. This is hilarious. Then about a specific topic that's hot, and then create a visual of what happens, like this guy's body language, or watch this person's reaction, something like that.
Oh, that is interesting. So maybe that's why Instagram's so popular. I have like 2 posts on Instagram. I just can't figure it out, like how to use it. I'm
almost thinking about buying somebody's like online, show me how to get followers package, or like hire somebody. I'm like, it's just fucking exhausting. I don't fucking know how to do it. And it's, the thing that I don't like about it is, from like an ego standpoint or whatever, I don't fucking need to have 1 million followers. I don't. However, if you have 1 million followers, it's a lot easier to make your living doing comedy. You know what I mean? Hey, I'll be at this place. Place sells out instantly.
There's a guy I know. Well, I don't know him, but I know him from LinkedIn. His name is James Altucher. Do you know him? You ever heard of him?
No.
So he's apparently like I think he's like a millionaire entrepreneur, had a software company, giant nerd. Like he's got like this giant afro, white guy, just looks like, some guy like a scientist or whatever. But now he's trying comedy, right? So he's like, oh, I'm going to try becoming a comedian. This was last year. The guy's selling out everywhere because he's got like all these followers on LinkedIn. He's just trying it out. Just another. That was one of the things about comedy that always made me mad, was like I would hear about like King Kong Bundy from wrestling.
Oh.
He starts doing comedy. Biff from Back to the Future, he becomes a comedian, right?
Actually, very good. I don't know if you.
I know he's good, but it was the barrier of entry that I was like, oh man, all these people they already have the following, like you said, and now it's just easier for them to to get that. It's like
Hey, dude,
you know,
whatever. They fucking earn that following. And
yeah,
that's an important lesson that I don't think enough people know is that, yeah, comedy's about being funny, but it's about selling tickets first and foremost as
right.
far as the clubs go. Like, dude, uh, I remember once there was this big YouTube person who was coming in to do a show after the show I was on, and the headliner that was on the show with me, he goes, "Hey," he goes, "Is there another show after this, or can we go long if I want to do extra time?" And I go, "No, there's another show coming." And he goes, "Who's doing it?" I go, "I don't know, some dude from YouTube." And he's like, he rolls his eyes, and I always love this line. I watched him wrap up his set, and he goes, "Hey, I'd love to stay and do more time for you guys, but apparently there's a YouTube star coming in. And, I've been on the Tonight Show 10 times. He's like, I have 4 1-hour specials. He's like, I have my own television show for 5 years. But hey, it's a guy with a bunch of YouTube views coming in. So I got to get the fuck out of here." And it was funny. But at the same time, that YouTube guy fucking like sold the place out. So if you're a club owner, that's what you want. You want them to sell tickets.
Well, I tell you, I read something in a book I read, or maybe I saw it online, where they said if you want to be a successful comedian, you don't have to be funny, but you do have to be interesting. I thought that was interesting.
I think there's an element of truth, but you got to be funny. I mean, but I'll say this. I don't think comedy is about getting laughs 24/7 when you're on stage. I don't think you have to
Right.
be getting a laugh every fucking second. There's certain times where like somebody will tell a meandering 3-minute story and there might not be punchlines throughout, but I can't go for that all the time, but there will be times.
Like George Carlin.
What? Well, yeah.
George Carlin's advertising bit is one of the greatest things I've ever heard in my life, and
Which
it's
one's the
like
average?
7 minutes. I can't even. You'll have to look. You have to look it up.
The
But
point is, like, you're going there to be entertained, and I want to
yeah,
laugh. There will be times that I'll be like, okay, there can be no laughs in this little chunk if you want, but it better be fucking interesting. You know what I mean?
yeah. Well, that was what Carlin did, right? I mean, you've heard his famous one about when he's like, they own all the important property, they own all the good businesses, and it's a
Yeah.
dining club, and you ain't in it.
You ain't fucking in it.
Right. Basically, about how it doesn't matter who you vote for, they don't give a fuck about you. That's all you need to
I
know.
think towards the end, Carlin was more interesting than funny, but he's interesting as fuck. Like, I mean,
Oh, absolutely.
I just be watching him like, what's he gonna say next? You know
And
what I mean? But
I wish
I'm not
that's one guy I wish was around right now.
my guy that I wish was around was Patrice O'Neill.
Oh yeah.
Whenever
Oh,
anything happens in this world, I'm like, what would Patrice O'Neill have said about this? Like that guy, so fucking funny and
that clip
so
of him on that. Do you remember the one when he was on CNN with that woman and she was talking about what's funny and he's like, "How do you know what's funny? You're not funny.
yeah,
How do you know what's funny?" And like, it's just not funny. He's like, "You don't know. That's not your world."
dude, he was unbelievable. Like so funny, like so intelligent, and had
I
just such a
know.
different like view. Like you ever hear him talk about women? Like I'm not
Oh,
even talking on stage, but like he'd be like on Opie and Anthony or something, and they called him the he used to go they would call him the Black Dr. Phil, and then it became Black Phillip, and he would just give his insight onto women and brilliant. Like one, hilarious, but even if there was like a little pocket where it wasn't being hilarious, it was like this guy is blowing my
I know.
mind with the information he's giving me right now. Like it's like, holy shit, I never thought about it like that.
Man, that bit he does about why men cheat on their women. He's like, you know why
Oh,
he's like, we sneak out of the house so we don't hurt your feelings because we love you. It's like,
yeah.
dude, that guy.
Or he talks about like, you could ask a woman, you know, what if you could get away with it and you could go sleep with Brad Pitt? No,
Oh, right.
I just don't think that's me. And because then you go up to the guy and you'd be like, yeah, everything's going great in your life, and but what if you can get away with it? If you can fuck that girl over there, passed out behind the dumpster, and he's like, oh my god, look at her with all the garbage on her. She looks so beautiful.
Oh, that's great,
I
man.
love his ain't that better? You ever see him do that bit? Ain't that better? He's talking about how women come in and just ruin whatever you're doing when you're alone. And he's just like, he's like, we want to be alone. We just don't want to be by ourselves. Like you can, like if I'm in the living room, you can be in the vent. Just sit in the vent. Just be around. Just don't hear me. And it's fucking amazing. That guy was, but he's my favorite in terms of. I wish I could hear what he had to say about this.
No, that's a great one, man. Oh God, too bad, man. That guy was gone way too soon. He had another good 35 years left, probably. I mean, the guy was he was a genius, man.
Healthy, yeah. I love the joke against him. It was at someone's roast. I want to say it was at a roast of Amy Schumer, or Amy Schumer said the joke. I could be wrong, but let's say it was Amy Schumer that said it, and she said something to the effect of she referenced somebody's death, and then she goes, "And next year we'll be here." God, how did she say it? She says it's about saying goodbye to Patrice O'Neal's feet because he has diabetes, and he's like, I was like, oh, it was that was a strong jab. I wish I could remember the wording, but it was.
I don't think he was. He was. I think he was. Was he mad about that one? I think he was mad about that one.
I don't know, to be honest with you, but my attitude is fucking deal with it, Patrice. You've busted everybody's balls. I hear these stories. It sounds like he was like the biggest ball buster in the history of ball busting is the picture that I get, so fucking deal with it.
No, that guy's funny, man. All right, well, listen, Don, thanks for coming on tonight, buddy. Especially last
no problem, brother. Thanks for having me. And so you're at day 23. Why don't you come on my podcast for 75 hard a week from today, day 30? Does that sound good?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
All right, cool, brother.
Thanks, all right, buddy. Man. All right, thanks. Take care.